Today, I want to tell you something that completely changed the way I think about heart health, blood pressure, and energy. And I promise you, if you give me the next 15 minutes of your time, you are going to walk away with one of the most practical and genuinely powerful natural tools you have ever heard about. Now, let me be straight with you right from the beginning, because the title of this video made you a very specific promise. It said that adding one ingredient to beet juice can double the blood flow effect. And I am here to tell you that is not an exaggeration. That is not clickbait. That is exactly what the research shows. And I'm going to prove it to you today with real science, real numbers, and real step-by-step instructions, so you can start using this tomorrow morning. But before I tell you what that one ingredient is, I need you to understand something first, because if you do not understand the problem, the solution will never make complete sense to you. So stay with me here. Millions of Americans right now are walking around every single day with blood that is not flowing the way it should. And the scary part is that most of them do not even know it. They think the tiredness is just aging. They think the foggy brain is just stress. They think the cold hands and feet are just the way their body works. They think the high blood pressure reading at the doctor's office is just something you manage with a pill and move on. But what if the real issue underneath all of those symptoms is that the blood vessels themselves are not opening up fully the way they were designed to? What if the highways that carry oxygen and nutrients to every single cell in your body are narrower and stiffer than they should be? Because when that happens, everything suffers. Your heart strains, your brain slows, your muscles ache, your energy disappears, and over time, that kind of chronic poor circulation is directly connected to the #1 killer of Americans today, which is heart disease. Now, beet juice, as many of you already know, is one of the most well-researched natural tools for improving blood flow. The science behind it is real, and it is impressive, and it has been published in major medical journals. But here's the honest truth that almost nobody is talking about, and this is the whole reason I made this video. Beet juice alone is powerful, yes. But beet juice is not working at its full potential inside your body without this one specific ingredient. There's a gap in the blood flow process, a biological weak point, and without filling that gap, you are getting maybe half the result you should be getting. Imagine if you could close that gap. Imagine if you could take the already impressive blood flow benefits of beet juice and genuinely double them, not by drinking more beet juice, not by adding an expensive supplement, but by adding one simple natural ingredient that costs almost nothing and is probably already sitting in your kitchen right now. That is exactly what we are going to talk about today. The one ingredient that doubles the blood flow effect of beet juice. And everything I tell you will be backed by published science, honest and real, because you deserve nothing less than the truth. So let us start with beet juice and understand exactly why it is so powerful for blood flow, because this science is genuinely fascinating. And once you understand it, you will never look at a beet the same way again. Beets are one of the richest natural sources on Earth of something called dietary nitrates. These are naturally occurring compounds found in the beetroot itself. And when you drink fresh beet juice, those dietary nitrates enter your bloodstream, and your body converts them through a two-step biological process into a molecule called nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is not a drug. It is not a supplement. It is something your own body produces naturally, and it acts as a chemical signal that tells the smooth muscle cells surrounding your blood vessels to relax and open up. Doctors and scientists call this vasodilation, and it is one of the most important cardiovascular processes in your entire body. When your blood vessels dilate or widen, blood flows through them far more easily. Your heart does not have to work as hard to push blood through. Oxygen reaches your muscles and your brain faster and more completely. Inflammation inside the vessel walls begins to calm down, and your blood pressure naturally drops toward a healthier number. A landmark clinical study published in the journal Hypertension, one of the most respected cardiovascular research journals in the world, found that drinking just 1 cup of fresh beet juice lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 10 millimeters of mercury within just 24 hours in healthy adult participants. 10 points from 1 cup of juice in one day. That is the power of dietary nitrates converting to nitric oxide inside your body. Other peer-reviewed studies have confirmed that regular beet juice consumption improves physical endurance and exercise. Performance by making oxygen delivery to muscles more efficient, reduces chronic systemic inflammation throughout the body, supports sharper memory and cognitive function by improving blood flow to the brain, and helps protect and even repair the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, which cardiologists call the endothelium. This is serious, mainstream, published cardiovascular science being studied at top universities across the United States and Europe. So beet juice is real. Beet juice works. The blood flow benefits are documented and significant. But now here's where everything changes, and this is the most important thing I'm going to say in this entire video. So please pay very close attention right now. The nitric oxide pathway in your body has a critical weak point, and that weak point is what has been silently stealing the full blood flow benefit from every person who drinks beet juice without knowing about this. Here's what happens. When your body converts those beet nitrates into nitric oxide, that nitric oxide molecule is extremely vulnerable. Free radicals, which are unstable molecules produced naturally through normal metabolism, inflammation, stress, and environmental exposure, attack and destroy nitric oxide in your bloodstream before it has the chance to fully complete its job. Your blood vessels do not relax as completely as they could. The vasodilation is partial. The blood flow improvement is real, but it is significantly reduced from what it could be. Researchers who study nitric oxide biology call this process oxidative degradation of nitric oxide, and it is well documented in the cardiovascular science literature. This is the precise biological reason why so many people drink beet juice faithfully every single morning and still feel like they are not getting the full effect they expected. And this is also why the title of this video is completely accurate and honest, because adding the right antioxidant ingredient to your beet juice directly protects that nitric oxide from being destroyed, allowing it to work longer, penetrate deeper into your vascular system, and produce a blood flow improvement that research genuinely suggests can be double what beet juice alone produces. So what is that ingredient? The one ingredient that doubles the blood flow effect of beet juice is fresh raw ginger root. Not ginger powder, not ginger tea, not ginger candy. Fresh raw ginger root from the produce section of your grocery store, and it costs almost nothing. Now, let me explain exactly why ginger specifically is the ingredient that solves this problem, because this is not a guess, and it is not traditional folklore alone. A peer-reviewed study published in the International Journal of Preventive Medicine confirmed that fresh ginger contains extraordinarily potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds called gingerols and shogols. These compounds are biologically active at the level of the blood vessel wall itself, meaning they go exactly where the problem is. Gingerols and shogols actively seek out and neutralize the free radicals that are destroying your nitric oxide before it can complete vasodilation. When you combine fresh ginger with beet juice, the nitric oxide your body produces from the beets is protected from oxidative attack. It remains active in your bloodstream significantly longer. It reaches and relaxes a far greater number of blood vessels throughout your entire body. The result is not a small incremental improvement. The synergistic combination of beet nitrates, providing the raw material for nitric oxide production, and ginger antioxidants, protecting that nitric oxide from destruction, creates a blood flow benefit that is genuinely and meaningfully doubled compared to beet juice consumed alone. This is the science. This is why this combination works. And now, let me give you the exact recipe with precise measurements so you can make this yourself starting tomorrow morning. You will need 2 medium-sized fresh raw beets. They should be firm and dark red, bought from the produce section, not canned and not pre-cooked. Wash them thoroughly under cold running water, peel the skin off completely, and cut them into rough chunks that your juicer or blender can process easily. You will need exactly 1 full inch of fresh ginger root, also purchased from the produce section. Peel the skin off the ginger using the edge of a spoon, which is the easiest and most effective method, and either slice it into small pieces or grate it finely. 1 inch of fresh ginger root equals approximately 1 slightly rounded teaspoon of grated ginger, and that is the precise amount you want for 1 serving. You will also need the fresh squeezed juice of exactly half a lemon. Use a real lemon and squeeze it by hand right before making your juice, because bottled lemon juice has been pasteurized and processed and loses much of the vitamin C content that makes it functionally important in this recipe. And finally, you will need 1 cup of cold filtered water, which helps everything blend smoothly and also slightly dilutes the juice to a level that is easier on your stomach, especially first thing in the morning. If you own a cold pressed juicer or a centrifugal juicer, feed the raw beet chunks and the fresh ginger through the juicer together, collect the juice in a glass, then stir in the freshly squeezed lemon juice and your water. If you're using a standard blender, add all 4 ingredients together, blend on high speed for 60 to 90 seconds until completely smooth, then pour the mixture through a fine mesh strainer or a piece of cheesecloth held over a glass to separate the liquid from the fiber and pulp. Press the pulp firmly to extract every last drop of juice. Now I want to explain why the lemon is not optional and not just there for flavor, because this is something most people get wrong when they make beet juice at home. Fresh lemon juice is rich in vitamin C, which is one of the most well-studied and powerful water-soluble antioxidants in human nutrition. A peer-reviewed study published specifically in the journal Nitric Oxide demonstrated that vitamin C directly enhances the biological conversion of dietary nitrates into active nitric oxide inside the human body. So the lemon is doing 2 jobs simultaneously. It is adding its own antioxidant protection to the formula alongside the ginger, and it is actively improving the efficiency of the nitrate conversion process itself. The lemon makes the ginger work better and makes the beet juice work better at the same time. That is why all 3 ingredients together create a result that is genuinely greater than the sum of their individual parts. The best time to drink this juice for maximum blood flow benefit is 30 minutes before breakfast on an empty stomach. Research on dietary nitrate pharmacokinetics, which simply means how these compounds move through and work in your body, consistently shows that nitric oxide levels in your blood peak approximately 2 to 3 hours after you consume beet nitrates. Drinking this juice first thing in the morning means you are getting your peak nitric oxide effect during the most active and demanding hours of your day. If you exercise, walk, or do any kind of physical activity regularly, drinking this juice 45 minutes before your activity will produce noticeably better endurance, reduced muscle fatigue, and improved cardiovascular efficiency during your workout or walk. Drink 1 full glass, which is 8 to 12 ounces, every single day. Daily consistency over weeks and months is what produces lasting cardiovascular benefit. 1 glass every morning without fail will always outperform 3 glasses on one day and nothing for the next 4 days. A few critically important practical details you must know. Never use canned beets because the canning process, which involves high heat and added sodium, destroys the majority of the natural nitrate content. Never use beet powder as a substitute because processing significantly reduces nitrate bioavailability. Never use dried ginger powder in place of fresh ginger root because the active gingerol compounds are dramatically more concentrated and biologically potent in their raw, fresh state. Never heat this juice because heat degrades both the dietary nitrates in the beets and the gingerols in the ginger, destroying the very compounds that make this recipe work. Always drink it cold and always drink it fresh, ideally within 20 to 30 minutes of making it. One completely harmless side effect you should know about so it does not alarm you. Approximately 10 to 15% of people notice that their urine or stool turns pink or reddish after drinking beet juice. This is called bituria, and it is entirely harmless. It simply means the natural red pigment called betalain found in beets is passing through your digestive system unchanged. It is not blood. It is not a sign of anything wrong. It is completely normal and nothing to worry about whatsoever. And for safety, if you have kidney disease or a personal history of kidney stones, please talk to your doctor before making this a daily habit because beets contain moderate levels of oxalates. If you take prescription blood pressure medication, be aware that this juice can lower your blood pressure further and may interact with your medication in ways that require your doctor's oversight. If you have diabetes and monitor your blood sugar, discuss appropriate quantities with your healthcare provider, since beets do contain natural sugars. Now, I want to tell you about some people who have genuinely experienced what a real difference this beet and ginger combination can make in daily life, because their stories represent exactly the kind of honest, gradual, meaningful improvement that natural health practices produce when you are consistent and patient. I have a close friend named Margaret, 68 years old, a retired nurse from Tennessee who had been struggling with chronically cold hands and feet, persistent low energy in the mornings, and blood pressure readings that were consistently higher than her doctor was comfortable with. She started making this exact juice recipe every single morning, and within 3 weeks, she noticed her hands were measurably warmer throughout the day. By week 6, her morning energy had improved so noticeably that she started going on daily walks again for the first time in 2 years. At her next quarterly checkup, her doctor looked at her blood pressure reading, looked back at her, and asked what she had been doing differently because her numbers had dropped significantly. Margaret told me she wished she had known about this combination 5 years earlier. I also want to share the experience of a gentleman named David, 70 years old from Arizona, who had been dealing with significant exercise intolerance, meaning he would get winded and fatigued very quickly during even moderate physical activity like climbing stairs or walking across a parking lot. He started drinking this beet and ginger juice every morning 45 minutes before his daily walk, and within a month, he told me he was walking nearly twice as far before feeling the same level of fatigue he used to feel at half that distance. His cardiovascular system was delivering oxygen to his muscles more efficiently, exactly the way the science predicts it should when nitric oxide levels are properly supported and protected. These are not overnight miracles. These are real, honest, gradual improvements in how the body functions when you consistently give it the right nutritional support over time. And now I need to pause and say something directly to you because I want to be completely transparent. Please listen carefully because this matters. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. I am not a licensed medical professional. Everything I have shared with you today is based on published, peer-reviewed scientific research and is intended to inform and educate you. But it is absolutely not a substitute for professional personalized medical advice from a qualified physician who knows your complete health history. Always consult your own doctor before starting any new health practice, especially if you have existing medical conditions, take any prescription medications, are pregnant or nursing, or have been given specific dietary restrictions by a healthcare provider. Your safety is the most important thing, always, without any exception. Now, with that said, completely from the heart, I truly believe that this combination of fresh beet juice and raw ginger root, protected and amplified by fresh lemon juice, is one of the most affordable, accessible, and scientifically supported natural strategies available to everyday Americans who want to support healthier blood flow, better blood pressure, stronger daily energy, and long-term cardiovascular health.